Good morning, good morning. Guys, today I have day off and I decided to spend the day motivating you for regular fitness activity. Any activity that you find is best for yourself will be amazing, but we have to keep on moving. And why? I will let you know and I will do my best to convince you. I have at least 5 great reasons to do so. Some of those you already know. Some you probably heard before, but maybe you did not associate all of that with physical activity. So let's get going. Okay, guys. So firstly, let's go over some facts just to see whether we are getting enough activity weekly or not, or maybe what percentage of our population in United States is getting closer to the goal. Guys, World Human Organization, so the big organization that puts all the data together about fitness, health, and what's recommended, what's not, estimates that it is recommended for adults to do at least 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity a week. If it would be more intensive aerobic activity, it would be 75 minutes. Are we getting enough? What do you think? Well, here are some facts. Only 20.6% of people in United States may meet the total amounts of exercise, which means 80% do not. In those statistics, we had 23% of men who are getting this amount of exercise and only 18% of women. We may think, well, it's not bad, but majority of those people who actually were active were very young people, ages 18 to 24, which means that most of the population were really inactive. Talking about the minimum amount of steps per day, it is recommended that we guys do about 10,000 steps a day. And in the United States, we are also not even close to that goal. Most people are in between 5 to 7,000. So even such a basic activity as walking, we are not even there. We halfway there, which is a huge problem. All right, so some other facts. Guys, BMI is body mass index, and this is kind of indication for people whether we have a good, healthy body weight, or are we a little too heavy, or are we really heavy, overweight heavy. To figure out whether you have a normal body weight, healthy body weight, I would suggest you go on the internet and try find body mass index. There's gonna be like a chart where you can find your age and your current weight and your height, and you'll be able to quickly find the number that corresponds to where you are today. But normal body weight, you would be somewhere between 18.5 to 25. Overweight, you'll be over 25. Pre-obesity, you would be between 25 to 30. And obesity, you'll be above 30. Here are some facts. In United States, 160 million Americans are either obese or overweight. 75% of men and 60% of women. In Poland, for everybody who's watching me originally from Poland, we are also not in a very good situation. We are number 5 in Europe, and we have 64% of men being overweight and 49% of women. It is also predicted, and not all predictions happen. Hopefully this will not happen, but guys, it is predicted that in 2030, 40% of all population around the world will be either obese or overweight. The situation is not way better as far as our kids are concerned, and that is, in my opinion, most alarming. Guys, in United States, 35% of children, and by children I mean kids, almost adults, ages 2 to 19, are overweight or obese. These were studies done in 2015 to 16, but for what I can see, it's not getting any better. Actually, every year the problem is getting worse and worse, especially now in times where we have all the computers, laptops, and phones, and our children spend most of the day just sitting down and watching YouTube or playing games, which is a fantastic way of spending a day, but it has to be a reasonable limits, which we all agree on, I'm sure. Let me convince you why do we have to steal precious minutes every single day and waste it on exercising. There is at least 7 big reasons. There's way more. There's many more, but I want to tell you at least big 7 and my personal reason at the end of it. So guys, health benefits. This is something you probably heard and you know, but just in case you missed something, let me remind you quickly. So regular fitness activity improves cardiorespiratory and muscular systems. It delivers oxygen and nutrients to body tissue. Our bones get stronger by strength training, especially we have better bone density. So it is very important that we lift weights, whether we want big muscles or not. We have to do it for the sake of our bones. As you know, with age, we are naturally losing muscles and our bones get thinner. So to prevent that, we cannot prevent it completely, but we have such a big control over how fast or how slow this process will progress that why wouldn't we do so? It's our life, it's our body, we only get one, so let's do best we can to keep it healthy. Guys, digestive system. Regular activity helps. Obviously, we have faster metabolism and we burn more calories a day, which help us to keep better body weight. But it, of course, also helps with digesting that food, with better absorption of nutrients and vitamins from the food, and also promotes regular bowel movement. I once was reading some facts about how many people have to take some sort of medicine for just this issue, right? Regular bowel movement. It's mind-blowing, where you can get the cheapest and the best prescription for free. Just keep on moving and magic will happen. Regular activity prevents the biggest illnesses that United States and these days almost any country have to deal with. So heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, some types of cancer like colon or breast cancer, high blood pressure, and even anxiety. Those are all issues where people have to completely change their lifestyle to live with. Usually this means that you have to take some medicine every single day. Many of those can be prevented, and with many of those can be, if not cured, then definitely we can help with so much with regular activity. We are getting more and better quality sleep if we exercise, if we challenge our body with something every single day. Why quality of the sleep is so important? Because during the sleep, so many amazing things happen to our body, to our brain, again, to our digestive system. We need, everybody needs a different amount of sleep, obviously, but if we don't sleep well, then each following day can be very miserable. We don't feel good. We are just unhealthy if we don't get enough of the sleep. And again, I'm talking about good quality of the sleep. And here I would like to just remind you that quite often our excuse for not exercising would be lack of time. I'm going to make another video about all those excuses where we're going to address that. But well, if we don't get enough time, if we don't have enough time in our life to exercise, what are we chasing? What are we trying to achieve? Better life, better standard of living? When are we going to enjoy all those things if we don't have health, right? We are sometimes chasing things, forgetting that we need to be healthy and we have to be alive to enjoy those things, right? So priorities here are, it's very important to understand all that, to prioritize what's really most important. Guys, number 2, cost of being overweight or obese, and quite often also just inactive. So after adding all the various costs associated with being either obese, overweight, or inactive, but especially those two, research found that being an obese individual in the United States costs on average $5,000 for women and $3,000, a little below $3,000 for men every single year, which wipes off another excuse for some people that, let's say, I cannot afford to be fit because I either have to make money and work those extra hours, or I cannot afford gym membership or so. Look how much more money every single year you are spending for that reason. So do the math here. Some of those costs are paid directly by an obese person, but some are paid by the employer or the government. Let me read you some facts about it. In addition to serious health consequences, obesity has real economic costs that affect all of us. The estimated annual healthcare costs of obesity-related illnesses are a staggering $190 billion every single year, which is 21% of annual medical spending in the United States. $190 billion. Obesity now costs the world $2 trillion every single year. Guys, what other costs overweight, obese people pay every single year, sometimes not even thinking about it? Short-term disability annual cost is about $350 higher for obese employee than employee with healthy body weight. Life insurance premiums are higher as well. Overweight, obese women earn usually 6% less than women with healthy body weight. Somehow, this statistics is, the number is unchanged for men. Gas and driving. Adding an extra 100 pounds of body weight or any weight could reduce your fuel efficiency by 1%. Spending an extra 3 cents per gallon may not seem like much, but it's adding on over the years. These numbers did not take into account other expenses that are typically higher for obese people, such as clothing. Guys, clothing such as jeans can be 45% more expensive if individual purchases bigger size. What other expenses? Sometimes spa services may charge more for an obese person. Airline tickets. Some airlines, as we know, those seats are getting smaller and smaller, and we are more cramped and cramped. And I know there are some rules where if you won't fit into your seat, you either have to purchase another seat or you have to purchase a bigger seat in the next class, which again can double the amount of the money you pay for flight. So guys, all those costs together is adding up. And again, I found another statistics where all of that was put into one account, and it was about 7,000 to 8,000 a year for overweight or obese individual ones. So another big one is that with physical activity, we can slow down aging process. We cannot stop it, but we can slow it down to the point that's mind-blowing. Guys, studies shown that a lifetime of a regular exercise slow down aging process. On average, people who've been active live 7 years longer. That is such a great number. If you guys are watching it and you are in your 20s, you may think like, whoa, 7 years. But think about it that way. We are working so hard to one day be retired and have extra time to spend with our children, our grandchildren, or maybe even grandchildren. And once we are closer to the retirement age, having extra 7 years or not is a big thing. It's a big gift. How are we slowing down that aging process? Our body really works under principle of don't lose it if you don't use it. So if there is pretty much any part of our body or anything that our body can do, if we don't challenge it, if we don't use it, it slowly disappears. We start losing our muscles at the age of 30. So we can start losing it like this, or we can slow it down so much. Guys, we are losing 3 to 5% of muscles every decade. As we lose muscles, we start to gain weight because we naturally don't burn enough calories. Our balance gets worse. Guys, death from unintentional injuries are the 7th leading cause of death among older adults, and falls account for the largest percentage of those deaths, right? So with losing muscles, we lose balance. Our flexibility gets worse. And let me tell you this, most of those things we can almost keep forever. Flexibility is something that is given to us when we are born, and you are deciding if you keep it or not. If you won't challenge your body with, all those moves where you fully extend your arms, your body won't be able to do a half of this in a few years. We have such a big control over what are we able to do with our body later on in life. Let's make sure we do the right thing, because as we let the aging process progress, we can turn it back. Unfortunately, it's not going to work that, let's say we turn 70 or 80 and we're going to regret losing all of that. We won't be able to gain it back, or at least not much of it. So another reason, which is also very important, is how brain and our memory is improved when we exercise. Guys, let's start with just the fact that we get more oxygen to any tissues of our body when we do physical activity, but we also get more oxygen to our brain, so it does functions better. It produces more brain cells, they get renewed. Our memory gets better if we have to, even if it's, let's say it's a choreography class and we have to remember even 2 steps, one following another one. We practice our memory. We keep challenging our brain. You get to know new people, so you feel wonderful in a group of people. The social aspect of exercising is very important as well. You feel happier when you work out. Our body release endorphins. These are happy hormones of that we have, and that it feels fantastic. Once you finish workout, yes, you feel tired, but you feel fantastic. You sometimes don't know why. Those are endorphins. Physical activity is proven to help fight definitely stress, right? Because we relieve stress when we exercise, but also it helps with depression and anxiety. Most often, once it goes too far, we can turn that around, right? There is a lot of medicine that can help with those conditions too, but those medicine, most of them have side effects, where exercising, it's free, it's available for everybody, and it works just as well. And so guys, all of that together, I hope it convinced you to start that activity. Put it to your schedule and put it to your every single day. Don't start next Monday, next month, or this following year. No. Put it to your calendar today that you will be exercising every single day, or at least 5 times a day. We need such a minimum to call ourselves an active person that we cannot not to do it. Guys, I also want to share one of my private reasons why I want to stay active. Well, there are at least 2. Everything that I just said, for sure. It is my job. It is the job that I absolutely love. So that's one reason I can't avoid not being active, because I teach fitness classes. But my very private reason is to travel to the places that are most beautiful and most remote. Quite often, when we want to see a beautiful travel destinations, it can be often to get there by car, by boat, by plane, on a horse, on a donkey, whatever. But there is a lot of hidden gems as well, but definitely hidden places somewhere down there in a cave, like Vietnam caves, where you have to hike for hours and then you have to prove that you are in a good physical state to be allowed to enter. Or you have to climb up on the mountain to see the view from the peak of it. Or you have to walk through the jungle to see this most beautiful waterfall. There are so many places where I know for sure you can rely just on your feet, on your hands, on your physique to take you there. Nobody will take you there. And since I love travel and I've had a pleasure to see at least a couple of those places, that showed me, that proved me that it is so important to always stay active and always enjoy the quality of life that you can say, I can go there, right? Not only to be able to afford those trips, but actually be able to go and see them from that aspect. Because money doesn't really buy anything. For some of those places, money won't buy a ticket. So that's my very personal reason, and I'm very passionate about that. So I wanted to share in, let's say you think about traveling sometimes and checking those gorgeous places, you need strong body to go there. Guys, I hope I convinced you. If not, I don't know what else I can say. I hope it doesn't have to be your doctor who have to convince you to that, because quite often if a doctor says so, we'll do it. Most people will do it, but very often it's already maybe not too late, but you won't be able to get all of those benefits. You have to start today. Let me know in a comment section what is your reason to, why are you staying active, and if there's anything else that I missed and you think is important, let me know. I would love to hear from you. Guys, don't forget to subscribe. Let me know if you like the video. Check my other videos. I just posted the other day 10 false myth lies about fitness. This is very interesting too, because if you decide to start your fitness journey, I want you to wipe off some of the beliefs that will be a waste of time if you continue believing in those. And what else? Let's go to work. Let's exercise.